Another episode of The Penguin is dropped. Episode 6 sets the stage for the big finale of the show. Sophia is gearing up to get to Penguin somehow, while Oz takes the first step that will lead to the gang war. Plus, a very familiar item for Batman fans appears in this episode, a crowbar. Things are getting pretty grim in Gotham, and the question on everyone's mind is, where's Batman? We'll cover all this, plus more details and Easter eggs in this video, so stick with me till the end, and let me know in the comments what you think about this episode. Welcome to Comic Chronicles. The Penguin is now in its 6th episode, and we only have 2 more to see Oz's fight for control of Gotham's crime world come to a conclusion. Francis is central to everything in this episode, and we see characters acting individually, so make sure to give this video a Penguin like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any videos about the Penguin or news about the future of the Batman. Please be our subscriber and hit that like button, it really helps us grow here on YouTube. Thanks a lot, and let's get to the video's topic. I want to start by talking about the little time skip that happened in the series. Oz has set up his base of operations in the subway tunnels, and on top of that, we're seeing a Gotham that's covered in snow. That's right, folks. It seems that the Batman Part 2 might take place during Christmas, and if that happens, it'll be incredible. Everyone has evolved in this episode of The Penguin. Oz becomes the top drug lord in Gotham City, Victor has turned into a killer, and Sophia has taken control over her psychiatrist and is out for Penguin's blood at any cost. Just think about the level the main characters have reached. They all acted on their own. Oz blackmailed the city councilman and formed alliances with other gangs by himself. Sophia set out alone to find Penguin and is about to take out Oz's mom. Eve Carlos snitched on Penguin's hideout to get rid of Sophia. Victor took out Squid to prevent him from doing anything to Francis, and meanwhile, Francis is ready to die at any moment. If you are holding out hope for Victor to have a redemption arc, forget it. He took the worst path and has now become a murderer. The episode kicks off with Victor arriving on a motorcycle at Penguin's base, already stashing his weapon, foreshadowing what's to come. Notice that up until now, anytime Vic picked up a weapon, it was handed to him by Oz. He was still insecure about all of this. But now he has his own gun. After running over some thugs to save Oz and joining the kidnapping of Sal Maroni's son, Vic is now completely in the crime game. So, this detail about him hiding the gun was already setting the stage for what was about to unfold. Before I forget, I can't miss mentioning how the show focused on Victor riding his motorcycle through the city's tunnels. It's clear they wanted to make some people think it could be Bruce Wayne. There's no way they filmed that scene without considering that. Although the helmet and bike were different, it's obvious everyone is reminded of the Drifter, Batman's disguise for walking the streets of Gotham during the day, and that many would think it was him in that opening. After all, so far, there hasn't been any Batman in the series, except for a brief mention in the first episode about the time he saved people at the end of the first movie. But that's long gone, and what we have now is a gang war in Gotham streets, and nobody, absolutely nobody, mentions Batman. No mobster or goon is saying stuff like, "Hey boss, what if the Bat shows up?" Any criminal would think that, especially in a Gotham where Batman has been active for over 2 years now. He's not just an urban legend anymore. He was seen saving people from the flood, so everyone knows he exists. While everything had been happening behind the scenes, it was possible to argue Batman's absence, but now that's just not feasible. Sal Maroni killed a guard and escaped from Blackgate. Sophia is still roaming free in Gotham and is known as Hangman, all the Falcons are dead, the gang war is underway, and 3 of Penguin's goons were killed by Sophia and Sal Maroni, with their bodies displayed in public in Gotham. Can you imagine Batman not caring about all of this? Any Batman fan knows that even if he was tied up in another case, he would still be investigating this. He wouldn't just disappear in a situation like this. Regardless of how big Gotham is and how many crimes are going down, everything that's happening is significant. Despite all this, we can't conclude that this is a flaw in the series just yet, since we still have 2 episodes to see if there will be any hint of Batman in all of this, even if it's just his shadow. But we need to wait until the end to make that call. In this episode 6, 2 things catch everyone's attention. The first is Oz's alliance with other mobsters and those looking to take him down, like the Maronis and the Giants, who are determined to stop drug dealers from teaming up with Penguin. Oz tries to pull the other crime families to his side by using the same pitch he's made before, arguing that those in power don't value the other families and don't even know their names, therefore, by rallying around him, they will be recognized by all of Gotham. In the gang meeting, we get 2 Easter eggs. The Odessa gang is a mafia family from the Batman comics, and there are also the Loboes, a nod to the No Man's Land saga, where part of the destroyed Gotham City was their territory. The other thing that draws attention is Frances, Oz's mother. Notice that almost everything happening in this episode revolves around her. It was for her that Oz challenged the politicians to restore power to Crown Point and other poor neighborhoods in Gotham. It was for her that Vic killed Squid, who was threatening her life to get into Penguin's scheme, and she became Sophia's major leverage against Oz. Now let's go back to what happens at the beginning of the episode. Oz's struggle to keep his mom safe and provide work for the people in Crown Point is a clear sign of Rex Calabrese's influence over him. He wants to have his employees, expand his business, and be respected by the local population. Oz has managed to climb the criminal ladder. Now he has his own crew and has formed alliances with other mafia families in Gotham. Meanwhile, Sophia begins the episode showing that she now has complete control over her psychiatrist. Julian Rush practically declared his feelings for her in the last episode, and at the start of this one, the two are already in a relationship. The catch here is that this relationship isn't healthy at all, as he's all tied up and injured because of her, and he gets kicked to the curb right after. It's like what she's doing is out of revenge, considering that while she was at Arkham, she was the one being tied up and hurt. At this point, Julian Rush's emotional dependency is more than clear, but I still believe he will play an important role in the story beyond just this. All the characters are being well developed. I don't think he's just going to be reduced to this. Additionally, notice the relationship between Sophia and Sal Maroni. Sal is living in Sophia's house, and besides being united by a common goal, taking out Oz, both are people who no longer have anyone by their side. They've both lost their families and share that loss, even though Sophia was the one who ended her own family. She still feels the loss of her brother and her mother. In fact, don't forget this detail about her mother because I will come back to it. Even after taking out several goons to send a clear message that anyone who teams up with Oz will die, Penguin still manages to expand his drug operations and forge new alliances, which leads Sophia and Sal to follow another plan, targeting Oz's weakness. Maroni and Sophia break into Penguin's apartment to look for something that would lead them to someone important to Oz. Since family is always a significant element in mafia affairs, Penguin has always spread the word that his whole family was dead and that he had no one left. But Sophia finds a photo that ends up being Oz's biggest slip-up in all of this. Sophia discovers a photo of Eve Carlo, who is someone Oz cared about. Sophia finds Eve, but realizes that the relationship between the two wasn't strong enough to impact Penguin in any meaningful way. In the end, Eve and Sophia make a sort of deal, and Eve reveals Penguin's location to Sophia, saying he's in Crown Point. Once she arrives, Sophia finds someone she wasn't expecting, who is someone even more important than anyone else to Oz, his mother. The episode closes with Sophia holding a crowbar, staring at Oz's mother, alive and vulnerable right in front of her. Will Sophia find the courage to take out Penguin's mother? Notice the expression on her face. If there's anything that affects her more than anything, it's when the subject is about mothers, since she lost hers when she was a child. The fact that she adopted her mother's name and clothes isn't just a coincidence. Another detail is that one possibility is that she might take out Victor with the crowbar, similar to what happened to Jason Todd in the comics. It's not hard to think that, given he was introduced in the series stealing Penguin's wheels, just like Jason did to Batman. Another possibility is that Sophia could hurt Oz's mother, leave Victor wounded but alive, but then Oz ends up taking Victor out since keeping his mother safe was entirely Victor's job. I also can't neglect to mention the best scene in this episode, which features Frances in the bathtub, almost losing her life there. She was rescued by Oz, but she made Penguin promise to take her life when her illness advanced to the point where she could no longer bear it. Everything seems to be leading to her death. Somehow, her end is near. One final significant detail involves the problems caused by the flooding. The damage from the Riddler's actions in the Batman left the city affected for a long time. Now, instead of the issue being the flood, it's the lack of power in the poorer neighborhoods. The episode highlights that the government is directing power entirely to the upscale neighborhoods, those areas that weren't affected by the flooding. This makes it clear that the poorer neighborhoods are the ones struggling the most, as crime doesn't take a break there, while in the wealthy neighborhoods, none of this happens. To learn more about Penguin and all the Batman mythology in the comics, use our affiliate links to buy Batman, DC, Marvel Comics, or any other purchases. This way, you'll support our work without paying anything extra for it. Thank you so much for all the support you give us. Now, I want to know your opinion. Did you like this episode of The Penguin? Do you think this was the best episode? Do you also feel that Batman is missing from all this? Write it in the comments, give a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to not miss any updates from DC and stay in the loop with all the secrets behind the Penguin episodes. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next video.